Gas prices in Utah have risen 8 cents this past week, adding up to more than a dollar increase in the last month.
The BYU South Asian Student Association holds its first Holi Festival celebration.
The budget I'm releasing today sends a clear message to the American people.
Congressional hearings for Biden's 2023 budget plan begin today.
Welcome to Universe Live. I'm Hassan El-Sheikh.
And I'm Katie Ann Powell. It's Tuesday, March 29th.
Each year, the president drafts the U.S. federal budget and sends it to Congress for revisions.
Lawmakers are scheduled to begin discussing President Joe Biden's 2023 budget today. Amy Kiley looks at what's in it and how Biden hopes to pay for it.
Congressional hearings on next year's federal budget are taking off. A House committee is scheduled to look over President Joe Biden's plan today.
The budget I'm releasing today sends a clear message to the American people that what we value.
Here are some of the highlights. Biden wants more funding for NASA. It could put the first woman and person of color on the moon and prepare for human exploration of Mars someday. He also wants to increase funding to combat the opioid epidemic and
We still spend what we need to spend to continue to fight COVID. Those expenditures will be dramatically less than last year.
his plan has money for crime prevention, law enforcement, and defense spending. Republicans say funding for that last item isn't enough.
Putin and Xi will sleep more soundly at night if the Biden administration gets its way on defense funding than if Republicans get ours.
Biden also wants to improve the supply chain and domestic manufacturing and favor clean energy. To pay for all that, he wants to restore some corporate taxes Republicans chopped in 2017. He'd like to increase income tax for people who are worth more than $100 million. And he wants them to pay for unrealized capital gains. Those occur when things like stocks increase in value even before people sell them. Moderate Democratic Senator Joe Manchin says he's skeptical about that idea.
No matter how wealthy they are, they should have to pay. Everyone should pay, but not penalized to the point to where it doesn't make sense.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Senator Mitt Romney is critical of President's plans for the 2023 federal budget. Senator Romney says the $5.8 trillion budget does not have serious solutions for the national debt. Senator Romney says that the new budget is not a long-term solution and relies too much on borrowed money. He calls the president's plan to increase taxes misguided and says it will hurt U.S. jobs and business owners. Senator Romney says that, quote, hardworking Americans are suffering due to historic levels of inflation. He urges the president to curb federal spending.
Governor Cox announces his pick for the Utah Supreme Court Justice.
I decided to nominate Judge Diana Hagan as our newest Supreme Court Justice.
Judge Hagan has served on the Utah Court of Appeals since 2017. She is Governor Cox's first appointment to the Utah Supreme Court.
If I am confirmed, I promise to live up to the high standards that they have set.
Judge Hagan has served on the Utah Court of Appeals since 2017. She graduated with honors from the University of Utah Law School in 1998. In the next few weeks, the Utah State Senate will hold confirmation hearings for Judge Hagan.
The Utah Department of Health is closing many COVID testing sites permanently. The Department of Health will also no longer offer travel testing after March 31st. These site closings are a part of Utah's transition to a steady state response that Governor Cox announced last month. The department does recommend continuing testing for those with significant underlying conditions or those who are traveling somewhere that requires a negative test. Sites that are not closed will transition to private for-profit vendors. Utah's Department of Agriculture finds the state's first COVID-19 in a mule deer. Scientists collected nasal swabs and blood samples from animals all over the state during a routine winter checkup. They tested many different wildlife species, including about 280 deer. Only one deer tested positive for the virus, but many others tested positive for COVID antibodies. Scientists say the virus does not kill the deer, but they are unsure how the deer were exposed. The department will continue to research the effects the virus has on deer.
A new report shows Utah has the largest middle class in the nation. The report is fifth in the Utah Foundation's Social Capital Series. It uses data measuring economic stratification, language, and what percentage of the population is homegrown. The findings named the Beehive State middle class size is #1 in the country. Utah was also ranked 19th in the nation for its homegrown population and 22nd for the highest number of adults with English proficiency.
The average gas price in Utah has increased 8 cents this past week, adding up to a total of $1 increase since last month. According to the American Automobile Association, the current average for a gallon of unleaded gas is $4.44, which is 20 cents higher than the national average. Last week, gas prices were 8 cents cheaper at $4.36. 1 month ago, the price was more than $1 cheaper at $3.40 per gallon. The last year, the average price was $3.15. AAA says gas prices are stable for now, but it's uncertain how long this will last.
The renovation at Temple Square will affect pedestrian access for the next 18 months. The Main Street Plaza connecting North Temple Square will be closed for construction from April 11th until the fall of 2023. The closure will now allow construction crews to repair the plaza deck, refurbish the fountain systems, and install a larger reflective pool. Current renovations include installing snow melt conduits under the church office building walkways and foundational support for the North Temple addition.
Provo is the nation's best performing large city for the second year in a row. The Milken Institute awarded this recognition based on Provo's relatively low cost of living and low tax rate. The city has established itself as a hub for technology startups such as Oracle, Vivint Smart Home, and Qualtrics. The area maintained its #1 ranking with the highest levels of employment and wage growth across the nation in the last 5 years. Mayor Kaufusi says the award reflects what everybody already knows, that Provo is the best place to live and do business.
The new Provo Airport is almost ready for takeoff, and an open house event will be held in the summer. The new terminal features self-check-in kiosks, new dining and retail options, and a fun-friendly lounge for families. A new loop road named Skyway will also feature a park and wait bay, a long-term parking lot, and on-site rental cars to make travel easier. The $52 million renovation was funded by the state legislature and FAA grants. The open house will be held on May 7th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, fly to the website below.
The first ever Color Festival comes to BYU. Kelsey Mae Nild went to the event to give up a glimpse of this colorful celebration. Kelsey.
That's right. I'm here at Helaman Fields where people are throwing colors in the air, dancing, and celebrating the Hindu tradition of Holi. BYU South Asian Student Association held the first ever on-campus Holi Festival. Holi is a unique celebration that includes a traditional color throw using chalk. This festival originates from India and is a celebration of good winning over evil.
Over generations, we've just been doing this festival once a year to celebrate good over evil.
This BYU event not only had a vibrant color throw, but also included a dance lesson from the BYU folk dance team. The crowd joined in as the team taught them some cultural dance moves. The South Asian Student Association planned this event because they wanted to bring a piece of India to campus and give students an opportunity to learn more about another culture.
As a club, we just want to make people aware of these other cultures and religions.
Students seem to enjoy throwing the colors at each other and participating in this cultural celebration.
As you can see, everybody here is having a great time celebrating the South Asian tradition here at BYU. Reporting for Universe Live, I'm Kelsey Mae Nild.
Thanks, Kelsey. Today,
JCPenney at the Provo Town Center Mall is having a sale exclusively for BYU students. The event is only going today from 4 to 7 p.m. The discount is a way for BYU students to get clothes for their next interview or new job. Students can show their BYU ID and get a 30% discount on suits, sport coats, or dress pants, dresses, and shoes.
A lot of people know as a college students we're not really with a lot of money, so when we find discounts on clothes, we tend to buy those more often.
The event is mainly for students, but BYU faculty and staff are also invited. Students can also get their discount online by texting BYU to 672 692 to receive a 30% off coupon.
BYU just earned a #1 seed, but it's not for March Madness. The campus's landscape team is the latest champion of the National Collegiate Landscape Competition. This is the 4th time in a row BYU's team has won the competition. 40 college teams competed in 31 events that test their skills in landscape design, maintenance, and safety. BYU's score grew like a weed, totaling nearly 5,000 points. The 37 BYU students who competed won 18 of the 75 scholarships awarded, and the highest of the competing schools. 3 BYU students finished first in their individual events.
A snow squall in Pennsylvania causes a huge pileup. How many cars were involved, and how far did the crash stretch?
A dog is rescued after being stuck in an LA river. How long the dog was in the river and how they got him out of the freezing water.
Temperatures are heating up as a fire in Fort Hood continues to burn through acres of land, the latest on the Texas wildfires.
And I'll give you the full scoop on who stood out at BYU football's Pro Day and what is happening with softball and baseball teams this week.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major hurricane will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Water, phone, and internet service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Of Ukrainian and Russian delegations are considering a compromise after meeting in Istanbul Tuesday. The heads of the delegations for Russia and Ukraine held a side meeting as peace negotiations continue. Turkish officials are mediating the conversations between the two countries. It seems like there are low expectations for a breakthrough on either side. However, the president of Turkey says it is possible to reach an agreement that can address both countries' legitimate concerns.
The U.S. House Select Committee has found a 7-hour gap in former President Donald Trump's call records from the Capitol siege on January 6th last year. Sources say there are no records of phone calls made by Trump for a few hours after his address to supporters who later stormed the Capitol. Officials say some calls may have been made on Trump's personal cell phones, which would explain why they were not included in the White House records. The committee doesn't have access to phone calls made between then-President Trump and lawmakers that were previously reported to the media.
Officials blame a snowstorm for an accident in Pennsylvania that left several people dead and 24 people injured. The major highway I-81 was shut down Monday after the crash caused a massive pileup, including at least 50 vehicles. The accident stretched about a mile, causing traffic to congest for several miles, making it difficult for responders to reach the wreckage. Several tractor trailers were involved, and numerous vehicles caught on fire. Authorities used buses to transfer motorists who were involved in the accident but not injured to a reception center. The investigation is ongoing, and officials are working to confirm the total number of fatalities.
Prince Philip's memorial service was held this morning at Westminster Abbey in London. It's been a little less than a year since the prince passed away at age 99 on March 9th, 2021. Despite Queen Elizabeth's health concerns, she arrived to the service of Thanksgiving, her first public appearance in 5 months. Prince Philip was honored by one of the recipients of the Duke of Edinburgh Award, a program that the prince established to help young people. Crowds have gathered outside to pay their respects to the prince, who served for 69 years.
This dog had a rough day after he got stuck in a river for almost 2 hours. Firefighters found the dog and its owner stuck in a fast-moving river in a California city. They got the woman out safely, but the dog said, "Forget that," and even bit the rescuers who tried to pull him out. A few bystanders dangled ropes for the dog to grab, but that didn't work. One man jumped in to grab the dog, but he lost his grip and firefighters had to pull him out. It was finally possible for the firefighters to get the dog out after almost 2 hours.
Brace yourselves for larger crowds and higher airfares this spring 2022 travel season. Jen Sullivan takes a look at the spring travel trends and why you might want to book summer flights now.
The spring break travel season is on, and experts say expect higher crowds and pricier airfares.
Jet fuel is costing more, and airlines do have that major expense to pass down to consumers.
Last month, average airfare in the U.S. went up 5% compared to 2019 levels, according to an analysis by the Adobe Digital Economy Index, which analyzed online sales from 6 of the top 10 U.S. airlines.
You need to be quicker and more aggressive to grab good fares when they come up, because they're going to be fleeting.
Travel expert Willis Orlando from Scott's Cheap Flights says the ongoing conflict in Ukraine is partly to blame for those soaring prices. Earlier this month, Delta Airlines indicated ticket fares could rise by as much as 10% to offset the sharp increase in jet fuel costs. Orlando says the conflict is also rerouting demand towards domestic and short-haul international destinations.
Folks who were thinking of going to Paris are now turning around and saying, no, I'm going to Cancun. So you're not going to be alone. You're going to be fighting for other folks for those fares. You're going to see bigger crowds, bigger waits for things. You're going to see higher prices for hotels and the like.
The war also delaying what airlines hoped would be the return of travel to Europe this summer. Orlando says it's spooking many away from overseas travel. And with lower demand, it could create an opportunity.
That should mean that we see some more fare sales, lower prices as airlines try to get those tickets sold.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Will Smith is apologizing to Chris Rock after slapping him on live TV at the Oscars.
Alexa is here now to share more about the apology for the slap that rocked the internet. Alexa?
It's true. Will Smith has finally apologized to Chris Rock. His apology was posted to Instagram the day after the Oscars. In the post, Smith said that he was embarrassed by his actions and that he reacted emotionally to the joke told by Rock.
To be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
Smith apologized to the Academy and all involved in the Oscars show. He also apologized to the Williams family and those involved in the production of the film King Richard, saying that his behavior took away from the journey that they all shared together. The Academy tweeted after the show that they do not condone violence in any form. It has also launched a formal review into the incident. Despite the seriousness of the situation and the apology, the internet wasted absolutely no time in using the slap for their personal entertainment in the form of memes. People were quick to pull from Smith's movie and TV history, with a lot of memes coming from his Fresh Prince roots. A ton of memes and videos were made by rewriting the lyrics from the theme song for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to match what happened during the confrontation.
Now this is a story all about how I slapped Chris Rock and sat back down. And some people say I'm wrong, but I don't care. I'll tell you why you don't make jokes about wifey not having hair.
People also referenced Smith's film Men in Black, assuming that he wishes he could use the technology in the film to erase everyone's memories and get the whole world to forget his actions ahead of his first Oscar win. The slap is now a meme in and of itself, with people placing the slap into the context of different life situations. Whatever your thoughts are on the slap and the apology, the one thing that's for sure is that Smith has left a mark on both the Oscars and Chris Rock's face.
Firefighters in Texas are battling a wildfire at Fort Hood that has burned through about 33,175 acres of land. This Crittenburg Complex fire is one of 12 active wildfires in Texas and is made up of 3 fires that have combined and are now burning together. Due to critically dry vegetation, Texas has been hit by 726 wildfires this month, with 121 fires in the last 7 days alone. These fires have burned through 167,257 acres across the state. The Crittenburg Complex flame likely began with munitions fired in a Fort Hood training area. As of yesterday afternoon, this blaze was 45% contained. The warmer weather and sunshine was nice for a second, but some colder gray days are ahead for us here in Utah. Thunderstorms are probable across the Wasatch Range today, with a high likelihood of bringing brief gusty winds, lightning, accumulating graupel, and moderate to briefly heavy valley rain and mountain snow. There are some winter weather advisories across the western Uintas and southern mountains, with the bulk of precipitation falling during daytime hours. For the first few days in April, we will have some higher pressure, dry conditions, and seasonal temperatures across the region. And then starting on Monday and Tuesday, we'll be getting some April showers, hopefully bringing some May flowers. Now moving on to today's temperatures, it's a little bit colder than it has been this last week, but we're still up in the 50s. So Salt Lake City and Provo are high 50s, 59, 58 degrees. St. George is at 63 degrees, and all of those lows are well above freezing, but it is a lot colder, but it will be warming up. Moving on to our 5-day forecast for southern Utah, we're going to be seeing a little bit of rain on Thursday. Temperatures are going to drop but steadily increase, going into the 70s, and then possible rain on Sunday night as well. Going on to the 5-day forecast for northern Utah, it's the same thing. Some rain on Thursday and on Sunday, some gray days, and those temperatures are dropping but will be steadily increasing into the 60s. But I love gray. I love the rain. I'm happy about it.
Oh, singing in the rain. That's what I love.
That's cool.
BYU football stars Tyler Algier, Samson Nakua, James Empey, and others had the chance to impress NFL scouts on Pro Day last Friday.
Everything I got, I left it all out there. It was a good day. Woke up, did my daily routines, nice cold shower, listened to my daily affirmations in the morning, and just ready to rock. And it was a good day, honestly.
33 NFL scouts and representatives came to Provo for the day, and the Cougs did not disappoint. Samson Nakua rose above the rest. He ran a 4.48 second 4-yard dash, completed 16 reps on bench press, and had a vertical jump of 32 inches. Former BYU quarterback Baylor Romney also took the field to throw for Algier, Nakua, and Neil Pau'u for position-specific drills. BYU baseball dropped 2 of 3 to number 19 Gonzaga over the weekend and is looking to bounce back tonight in the clash of the Cougars. Washington State is visiting Provo for the 15th time, with the series split at 7 games apiece. BYU and Washington State have met 43 times in series history, with WSU leading the all-time series 25-18. The Blue Cougs enter today's game with a record of 12-9, having gone 2-2 last week. The Cougs from the Palouse come into tonight's contest with a 9-14 record on the year. The game will be at Miller Park this afternoon at 1 p.m. And to wrap it all up, this segment with women's sports, BYU softball senior Taylor Williams earned her first WCC Player of the Week after BYU wins against Iowa State and Oregon. The Cougs' offense was poppin', and Williams stole the show with 8 hits, 6 runs, and 3 RBI over 4 games. We congratulate Williams on this rightly deserved honor, and this team will be dominated Iowa this weekend, sweeping the Slycones in the 3-game series with 7 home runs. Next up to bat against BYU softball will be New Mexico in the 3-game series here at Miller Park Thursday and Friday. And sports have just been popping right now, and especially softball this past weekend. All those home runs have been incredible.
It's been crazy. And with the NFL draft, when I was watching the tape, it's just like they didn't look nervous at all, especially with all those scouts there. That was pretty impressive. But here's another story. A female Samaritan rhino was born at the Indonesian Rhino Sanctuary. The baby's rhino's mother, Rosa, gave birth last Thursday. The birth lasted nearly 3 hours. The entire birth process was supervised by a team of veterinarians from Indonesian Rhino Foundation. This birth is monumentous, as the mother had lost 8 pregnancies prior to this birth. There are currently fewer than 8 Samaritan rhinos in the wild. So far, the birth offers a ray of hope to the entire species.
Thanks for joining us today for Universe Live. For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu.
Have a great day.